Tonight, urgent new warnings coming from the White House about the threat of Russia invading Ukraine, indicating that could happen at any time.
Yeah, 3,000 more U.S. troops are preparing to head to Poland to back up NATO allies. Alice Barr with more.
U.S. troops arriving in Romania today as President Biden speaks with top U.S. allies from Europe to Canada on the crisis in Ukraine. That after a national security team meeting last night about the Russian troop buildup and the potential for an invasion.
We are in the window when an invasion could begin at any time.
The U.S. National Security Advisor now urging Americans to leave Ukraine immediately.
The risk is now high enough and the threat is immediate enough that prudence demands that it is the time to leave now.
In an exclusive interview with NBC's Lester Holt, the president making clear U.S. forces would not enter Ukraine, even to rescue Americans.
That's a world war. When Americans and Russians start shooting at one another, we're in a very different world than we've ever been in.
In that wide-ranging interview, President Biden also addressing Democratic governors, announcing they would start dropping mask mandates, even though the CDC hasn't changed its guidance.
I think it's probably premature, but it's a tough call.
The president acknowledging the pressure to move on 2 years into the pandemic.
All the variants have had a profound impact on the psyche of the American people.
And on the impact of inflation from shoppers to small business owners.
I used to have savings. I don't have it anymore.
President Biden promising to do all he can to reduce soaring consumer costs, while pointing to economists' projections that inflation will taper off throughout this year as pandemic pressures ease. The president also said he's down to about 4 picks for a Supreme Court nominee from what he's characterized as a list of highly qualified black women. He said he would make a decision by the end of the month. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, Rob.